What would you do if your child destroyed the last, most precious mementos you had of your deceased spouse? In today's story, a father is pushed to his absolute limit, and his response sparks a debate about where the line is between discipline and cruelty. I'm a 51-year-old single father to 3 children. My oldest is my son Leo, who is 22, my middle child is Chloe, who is 20, and my youngest is Alex, who is 17 and gender neutral. I'll admit, I'm still very new to the whole LGBTQ thing, so I'm trying my best to be supportive and learn. Their mother, my beloved wife Sarah, passed away in a car accident when they were just 11, 9, and 6. I've been raising them by myself ever since. I chose never to remarry. Sarah was and is the love of my life. I know I'm not a perfect father, but I can honestly say I've done the best I could to raise them right. Now, Chloe has always been a bit more of a wild spirit than her siblings, even before her mother's passing. Over the years, I've tried everything. I've had countless sit-down talks with her, put her in therapy, and I've even taken parenting classes and read books, searching for anything that might help me understand and guide her. Therapy seemed to help a little bit, but she decided to stop going shortly after she turned 18. Chloe still lives at home with me and Alex while she attends school. She was home a lot during the pandemic but has started going out more recently. The story I'm here to tell happened when I was out having dinner with an old high school friend. My phone buzzed, and it was a panicked call from Leo. He had been at my house, just hanging out with his siblings. He told me he had gotten into an argument with Chloe, and that Alex had taken his side. In response, Chloe became incredibly volatile. Then she crossed a line. She called Alex a slur. For me, that is a massive, unforgivable hell no. I immediately left the restaurant and headed home to try and calm everything down. When I got there, I told Chloe that I didn't care what the initial argument was about. I made it clear that she was absolutely not allowed to disrespect Alex or Leo like that. Of course, this led to me and Chloe getting into our own argument, but I shut it down quickly when I realized it was going nowhere. I forced her to apologize to her siblings and took away her car privileges until she could learn to show them some basic respect. I thought that was the end of it. Mark believed he had contained the situation, hoping a simple punishment would be the end of it. He was completely unaware that he had only lit the fuse on a bomb of pure malice, one that would obliterate the most sacred relics of his past. The next morning, after finishing work, I came home to a strange sight. There were scraps of paper scattered all over the living room floor. At first, I was just confused, but as I bent down and picked up a piece, a cold dread washed over me. I recognized the faded ink, the elegant cursive. My heart stopped. Chloe had found and cut up about half a dozen letters her mother had written to me when we were much younger. These were irreplaceable pieces of my past, of our love story. I was absolutely livid. There was no doubt it was her. I have a couple of security cameras in the house, which she knows about. I walked into her room, my body shaking with a rage I hadn't felt in years. I just looked at her and said, "Get out." She was smug, rolling her eyes as if this was just another dramatic outburst from her dad. That smirk was the final straw. I roared, "Get the fuck out of my house." The smugness vanished. Her face crumpled as she realized I was dead serious. She started crying, screaming, but I felt numb. It was as if my mind had shut down to protect itself from the sheer magnitude of her betrayal. At that point, she left with a friend of hers. But now, in the quiet aftermath, I can't help but feel like I was too harsh. Still, another part of me wants to stand my ground. As I tried to process everything, I learned more about the initial fight. One commenter pieced it together perfectly. The whole thing started because Chloe had hit Leo's car and simply refused to apologize. Alex insisted that she make it right with their brother, and that's when Chloe blew up and resorted to slurs. The commenter noted that Chloe was fully aware of the security cameras. She didn't just want to hurt her father. She wanted him to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it was her. This act revealed Chloe's most devastating flaw, a willingness to inflict the deepest possible pain to win a petty argument, a cruelty that would sever the very family ties she took for granted. Destroying those letters wasn't just impulsive anger. It was a calculated, malicious strike at the heart of our family's history and my most cherished memories. Another commenter, someone from the LGBT community, pointed out something that really hit home for me. They said I might have just saved Alex's heart from a serious break. For Chloe, the slur might have been a callous, throwaway insult, but for Alex, it would have been a deeply hurtful blow. This perspective solidified my resolve. While I was reacting to the loss of my wife's letters, my actions were also about protecting my youngest child. I had to show that there are consequences for such hateful behavior in our home. As the commenter put it, my action was justified in response. In that moment of cold fury, I wasn't just a father punishing a daughter. I was a grieving husband protecting the memory of his wife and a protector shielding his other children from a poison that had grown within our own home. The story teaches us that actions have severe consequences, and that even family ties can be strained to the breaking point when sacred boundaries are violated with deliberate cruelty. It also highlights a parent's solemn duty to protect the emotional safety of all their children, even if it requires making a heart-wrenching and difficult decision. Was my reaction justified, or did I go too far by kicking my own daughter out? What would you have done in my shoes? And is there any way for this family to heal from such a deep wound? Let us know in the comments.